Godlike!
As we all know, the video game industry isn't exactly as glorious as it used to be. Generally speaking, video game developers these days only care about one thing: money. However, this wasn't always the case. A couple decades back, most game developers cared a great deal about their consumers, and actually put time and effort into creating a video game that would also take the steps to do something unique and run the risk of failing miserably, or end up being extremely successful and original, instead of just doing what they know will make money. Nowadays, most game devs are too afraid to take such risks because money is all that matters anymore, and when they do deviate, they tend to fail stupendously. However, I won't deny that there are still a select few game developers that truly care about their fans and actually try to make them happy with something fresh and exciting. But most of them are long gone, which brings me to the subject at hand. Given the fact of the matter, I've decided to compile a list of truly beautiful and awe-inspiring games that really try to make you think about the important things in life in a new perspective, or make you really feel something and connect with you on a personal level. And that I personally see as nothing but works of art, or at least truly succeeded in what they were trying to accomplish. So if there are any hardcore gamers out there like myself who feel the same way, and see games as more than just time killers or a form of entertainment, but actually sees them as games for what they really are, and can appreciate them on a deeper, more emotional level, then you might be interested in some of these games I've compiled in a list for just such a purpose. So with that, this is my top 10 video games that make you feel something. Number 10, Tales from the Borderlands. The Borderlands series is well known for being clever, witty, modern, and all around entertaining. And Tales of the Borderlands just puts more of a focus on that than the main entries in the series, and concentrates more on the storytelling factor rather than the gameplay, as do most Telltale games. Now, I want it to be known that The Walking Dead was a very close matchup for my number 10 choice, but I won't lie, ultimately I went with Tales for biased reasons. As amazing as The Walking Dead is, at its storytelling and ability to instill fear and worry and give all your decisions weight and consequences and make you doubt yourself, Tales of the Borderlands touches on some of those factors too, but in a more light-hearted and comedic way, and that hits more of a soft spot for me. But I'm definitely giving The Walking Dead an honorable mention because Season 1 was incredible, and you should definitely play it if you haven't. In Tales of the Borderlands, all the characters just interact so well with each other, and most of them are very likable and enjoyable to watch. They have a great dynamic at all times, and for series fans, you've even got some returning characters from the main games, which is also a plus, to see them in a way that you didn't really get to before. The game's ability to make you laugh is my personal favorite thing about the game. This game is hilarious. I will never get over how freaking amazing that scene is where all the employees at Hyperion have a fake gunfight with you, and that scene, it was just incredible. It had me in stitches. It was so great, I had to give it a mention.
Don't shoot, please!
Shush! Shoo!
Got him now.
Bring it on!
And with that, there isn't much else to say about this game. If you've played a Telltale game before, then you definitely already know most of what I'm talking about here. Telltale aims to make their games an experience, and not just a video game. And Tales from the Borderlands succeeds at doing just that.
Think you could follow my footsteps?
You're really cool. I wanted you to know that.
Number 9, Transistor. When I played Transistor for the first time, I was so captivated by this game. From the gorgeous artistic visuals to its amazing soundtrack, thanks to the vocal talent of Ashley Barrett, this game truly surprised me, and by the end of it, I fell in love with it. This game truly knows what it means to be an experience. It tells a fantastic story in a very unique way. The main character, Red, is a singer who lost her voice, and her lover has been trapped in a sword called the Transistor, who serves as the majority of the game's dialogue. He tells the story from his perspective and how he sees everything around him, and what he's feeling. Even with Red's inability to speak, you can really feel the love she has for her lost lover, and her dedication to him and the bonds they share. It's truly impressive how the game tells the story with such limitations to your protagonist, and that's what makes it so unique and great. And combined with a fun and unique battle system, you've got a great RPG game here with a lot of time and effort put into it. And this game is one of the best examples of how strong indie games have become these days at being amazing video games. If you've never played it, you should definitely give it a chance. You'll be thoroughly impressed.
Look, whatever you're thinking, do me a favor. Don't let me go.
Number 8, Portal 2. This game just has such a charming and fun atmosphere to it. It's honestly one of the most fun experiences I've ever had with a video game. The people who made this game must have truly had a blast with it, and you can really feel that level of commitment while you're playing it. The characters are fantastic, the story has so much more to it than it lets on, and it's just such an enjoyable and fun ride that I would recommend this game to anybody who likes video games, and I'm sure they'd have a blast with it. This game makes you think, and not just because it's a puzzle game. The story has a lot of depth to it. In this post-apocalyptic world, every sign of reality just has you question what had truly happened there. The characters are so fun to listen to and are just overall hilarious, and the writing in this game was simply brilliant.
How's it going? I talked my way onto the old nanobot work crew rebuilding this shaft. They are really small. So, I know, Jerry. No, I'm on a break, mate. On a break. And, just hang in there for 5 more. What, Jerry? You can't fire me for that. Yes, Jerry. Or maybe your prejudiced work site should have accommodated a nanobot of my size. Thanks for the hate crime, Jer. See you in court, mate. Anyway, look, just hang in there for 5 more chambers.
Top it off with the creative and in-depth gameplay, and you have a truly entertaining experience that challenges the mind and has you laughing the entire way through. Portal 2 is a fantastic experience, and one that I think every gamer should have.
Hey, it's me! I'm okay!
Well, I'm back. The aerial faceplate in here is sending a distress signal. You broke it, didn't you? There. Try it now.
What happened, right? I was just lying there. You thought I was done.
This plate must not be calibrated to someone of your generousness. I'll add a few zeros to the maximum weight. You look great, by the way. Very healthy. Try it now.
Number 7, Gone Home. Gone Home is one of the most unique gaming experiences I've ever had in the sense that the game simply tells a story and you just sort of walk your way through it at your own pace. But what's nice about it is it isn't as boring as it sounds. The entire game takes place in this one house, but this house holds so many secrets, and you have to explore and discover them in order to piece together the whole story. In a way, it's very inviting and engaging. Besides the cleverness of the gameplay itself, the story being told is a beautiful one that has you questioning what really happened the entire way through, pushing you to explore further and get the whole story. I won't spoil anything, but it's a very touching story, and it covers a subject that a lot of people in reality struggle to deal with, and it really paints a picture for you and acknowledges that these things are not only very real, but they happen to a lot of confused people, and that these issues shouldn't be ignored. They should be acknowledged and dealt with, and that we're only human, and that these feelings are natural. It speaks to a lot of people, as it spoke to me, even though I can't relate. And I'm sure that that's what makes it such an amazing experience. When I first played the game, I had no idea what it was I was about to do, and I just felt a constant urge of dying to know what would happen next. This is definitely an underrated one, and one that deserves to be noticed. Number 6. Uncharted. Now, when I say Uncharted, I'm referring to the entire series, because anyone who's played these games, I'm sure can agree with me when I say that this series needs to be referred to as a whole because of the level of greatness in every entry. These games are some of the greatest games the video game industry has ever known, and has set an example for everyone else as to what video games should be and what they should strive to accomplish. Phenomenal storytelling, lovable in-depth characters, the dynamic between them, the atmosphere, the sense of adventure and wonder, the thrill of danger around every corner, the laughs, the tears, the feels. These games have it all. Uncharted isn't just a video game series. It's one of the greatest adventures any gamer could have, and it's just another reason why everyone should have a PlayStation and not an Xbox. Sorry, haters. Keep on hating. I personally hold these games in some of the very highest regard, and they are some of my top favorite video games ever made. The amount of effort and love that went into these games, from not just the people who made it, but the people who bring the characters to life, is just so inspiring, and you can tell everyone is loving what they do from the word go, and it's because of that level of dedication that these games succeed in every possible way. I'm personally so sad the journey is over, because I never want it to end. And one thing's for sure, Uncharted was an experience that I will cherish for the rest of my life. Here's hoping that Naughty Dog has something just as amazing planned in the future, because this is one hell of a franchise to live up to. And this is absolutely an experience that every gamer should have, but that's honestly an understatement.
I see great things in our future, kid. Great things.
Number 5. The Last of Us. Now, much like I did for Uncharted, I'm also including the DLC for The Last of Us because it was just as amazing as the main game, and only added to the overall amazing experience. The Last of Us blew everybody away, including myself. From the game's beginning intro, it had me hooked from beginning to end. This game was just another great example of Naughty Dog's talented storytelling ability. The game's two main characters are one of the most charming duos in gaming, and you end up caring so much about both of them by the end of it all, and even throughout. The story itself focuses on the relationship between them, and how they start off as complete strangers and end up developing a father-daughter bond of sorts, and everything that happens leading up to that moment is very enjoyable, whether you see any of it coming or not. The game finds a way to keep you intrigued. The gameplay itself is solid, fun, and even challenging at times, but the story threading it all together into one fleshed out journey is an incredible experience to say the least. Every cutscene or piece of dialogue is welcomed, and you never feel removed from the moment or any of the action. The Last of Us is an experience worth having, and a great game in general.
I swear.
Okay.
Number 4. Shadow of the Colossus. Shadow of the Colossus is one of the most impressive and shocking displays at a video game experience that I have ever encountered. The game is nothing less than a masterpiece. This game brings out nothing but feeling and emotion in me every time I play it. This game says so much, speaks so many words without saying much of anything at all, and it conveys it in such a powerful and meaningful way. Everything you feel while playing this game is much to your own interpretation, but its ability to draw those feelings out of you is what makes it so goddamn admirable. There isn't all that much to the story in terms of being complex or hard to understand, other than the fact that nobody is speaking in English. It tells a tragic love story, The game opens and your girlfriend is dead, and your goal is to try and bring her back. So our protagonists ask the help of a forbidden god to make this possible. And so he has you do his bidding, which involves slaying these colossal mythical beasts that inhabit the vast landscape surrounding you. While slaying these beasts, you can't help but feel remorse knowing that they're just living their lives in peace and solitude. As you kill more and more of them, you see your characters start to become more corrupted, all in the name of bringing back the one you love, and what he goes through to accomplish that goal speaks a powerful message in how determined he is to do it. Aside from the story, the landscape is a beautiful place to explore, and the soundtrack in this game is downright amazing and adds so much to the atmosphere and overall feel of the game, from the epic build-ups to taking down one of these mighty beasts, to the soft calming sound to help you appreciate the serenity of the world around you that you are slowly destroying. This is one of the greatest games I've ever played, and it's so unique in what it accomplishes. I definitely recommend this game to any avid gamer. I hold this game in such high regard. Number 3, Dark Souls. Now this one may seem a little bit like an odd choice for self-explanatory reasons. It doesn't really tap into your emotions the typical way that all my previous choices have, but it does make you feel some important emotions from my point of view. Dark Souls has one clear motive: vet you into becoming a better player. The game is constantly punishing you for every mistake you make and forcing you to not only learn from them, but to adapt to each and every challenge and different situation that you come across. And sure, this game can be very rage-inducing in most instances, especially due to the trial and error format this game encourages, but what's important to recognize there is the feeling of success and accomplishment when you finally overcome those tribulations. I don't know about you, but whenever I beat a boss or whenever I'm stuck because I don't know what to do and then I finally figure it out, I feel nothing but proud of myself. And because of the sheer challenge the Souls games present, you can't help but feel that way. And so that's why I chose Dark Souls for this list. I've never had a game that made me recognize my success quite as consistently as this game has. And if you want to better yourself as a gamer, or if you welcome a challenge, this is definitely the experience to have. Number 2, Resident Evil. When I think of this game, there's only one word that pops into my head when I think of what truly makes this game great, and that's atmosphere. Never have I played a game that executed atmosphere quite as masterfully as the Resident Evil remake. This game took everything that made the original amazing and just built off of it to make one of the most truly terrifying video games the horror genre has to offer. Sure, Resident Evil doesn't have the best storytelling execution or voice acting for that matter, but what it lacks in that, it makes up for in atmosphere. This game truly knows how to scare you. Everything about it feels so real. When you're wandering those dark or seemingly empty hallways, you feel like you're actually there, like you're in that situation. From the daunting soundtrack to the sounds of the dead, to the ambience of the outside forest surrounding the mansion, you can't help but feel like you're trapped, and that's exactly how they wanted you to feel when they made the game. When that perfectly placed, eerie music chimes in, giving you that overwhelming sense of uncertainty, it's a stroke of sheer brilliance. You're at the game's mercy when you're playing it, and it knows how to perfectly manipulate and control your feelings. This game makes you feel helpless and terrified of the unknown, with the fixed camera angles showing only you but not what's in front of you, or the scarcity of supplies that you need to survive, and the confrontations with enemies that you ironically have to take if you want to live, is just sheer brilliance, and no game executed that better than Resident Evil did. And that's why this game is a masterpiece. This game doesn't just make you feel scared. It plays off of that and pushes the boundaries even further, testing the limits of your emotions. As far as I'm concerned, this game will forever be the founding father of horror games and will set the bar for everything that comes after. Number 1, Undertale. This game honestly overwhelmed me with how utterly amazing it was. The soundtrack, the gameplay, the replay value, choice and diversity, it has all the things it needs to be a truly magnificent game. But what really spoke to me personally was the game's message. Assuming you're playing the pacifist playthrough, which is in my opinion the best way to experience the game, then you can truly understand the message Undertale is trying to send, which is ultimately to accept everyone. The characters and how they react to your choices are what make this game so engaging, and having the option to either befriend everyone or kill everyone is cool in case you want to try things a little differently, and it gives you more reason to play the game over after you've finished it. But killing everyone in this game is just too painful because the characters are what make this game so goddamn great. This game shows you the message behind the power of friendship, as cheesy as that sounds, and it does it in a really good way. And it's a truly touching story once you've heard it all through progressing. That and the clever humor makes for a very fun and entertaining experience. I found myself caring and getting so invested in the characters, and what's truly impressive is how well Toby Fox accomplished having such lovable characters and getting you to care about them and their world and everything they've been through in such a short amount of time. Undertale has to be the greatest indie game I've ever played, and the greatest indie game out there in general. Undertale is something that should be experienced by everyone. And listen, I wanted to thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I worked hard on it, and I had a lot of fun with it, to be honest. And let me know if you think I missed anything, guys, if you think there's another game that I should have included on this list that was just as meaningful, and let me know what your opinion in the comments. And also, if you could show some support, I'd really appreciate it by subscribing, and that's pretty much it. So if you guys want to see more of this in the future, be sure to let me know, and I will definitely see you guys in the next one, so take care.